I wake up this morning to this breaking news of the US government suing Google of its monopoly. And if this goes through, this is going to affect most of these tech companies such as Android, Apple, Google Chrome, and many more. Palki Shama will be giving us the breakdown on how this will affect some of these tech companies. So I decided to share this with you. But then at the end of it, of course, I would also like to hear your thought and opinion concerning some of these things. So without any further ado, let's get on to this video and check this out.
Our lead story tonight is about Google. Will Google be broken up? The search giant is in the crosshairs of the US government and the stakes couldn't be higher. Google is worth well over $2 trillion. As of April this year, more than 2 billion people were using Google and its products. The company reaches every continent on this planet. It has more than 70 offices, 70 offices in 50 countries. By the end of 2023, Google had more than 180,000 employees. It is more powerful than governments and richer than many countries. Google has been among America's crown jewels. But now the US government feels that this company is too big to regulate, and they have a point. Wherever there is internet, there is Google. For a lot of people, internet means Google. It is the only search engine they use. But Google's wealth comes from a wide range of products. Search is only a part of it. There is the Chrome browser, there's YouTube for videos, Gmail for email, Google Drive for storage, Google Maps for navigation, and the Android operating systems for smartphones. It's a long list. All these products together make Google worth over $2 trillion.
Wow.
So what happens if the company is broken up?
This is interesting.
Each of these products, Chrome, YouTube, Google Drive, Gmail, Maps, Android, they may be split from the parent company and siphoned into separate entities. That is one possibility. Business units like Android and the Chrome browser could be divested. Everything else remains as it is. But whatever is decided, Google will be hollowed out. Whichever way this goes, Google will be hollowed out. I know you have questions about this, like why is this happening? Why does the US government want to break up Google? It started with a lawsuit. Google was sued by the US government, by their Justice Department. They said Google is a monopoly and it is using all its power to control the market for search. How? By paying off other internet companies like Apple, the maker of iPhones. Google paid a lot of money to Apple to make sure that Google Search is the default search engine on its devices. So when you use an Apple product, when you pick up your iPhone or your iPad and you open the Safari browser to look for something, all its searches are directed to Google. Similarly, Google paid off Mozilla too. Mozilla makes the Firefox internet browser. So Google targeted Firefox to make sure that all the searches from Firefox came to Google. Now, we don't have the exact figure, but reports say that Google paid billions of dollars to these players. Now, the US Justice Department says that Google violated America's antitrust laws. So they took the matter to court, and the judge agreed. He declared that Google is a monopolist. So it was a win for the US government. Now, the Justice Department wants to use this opportunity to enforce antitrust laws. They want to take action and check Google's monopoly. Of course, the company will fight this in court. And this is what is expected to happen. A judge will finally decide if and how Google will be broken up.
Well, Google is going to appeal, and we don't know how long that's going to take. What we do know is going to happen is there's going to be what's called a remedy phase. That's the next act in this legal showdown, is what's known as a remedy phase, and the first hearing in that is September 6th. But that process is going to take months to happen too. It could take a year just to do that. That's where the judge is going to decide what kind of changes must be imposed to make a more competitive landscape.
At the center of this case are America's antitrust laws. Now, what are antitrust laws? These are laws that regulate how goods and services are sold in the market. They ensure that a balance is maintained, that the market remains fair. For every player who wants to enter a business, the market should be fair. There should be a level playing field. Let's try and understand this through a packet of chips. imagine this scenario. There's a famous brand
Okay.
of chips that everyone likes. It is available widely. It has a range of flavors. Whenever you go to your local supermarket, you find only this brand of chips. It is on all the shelves. You may not even realize or question this. Why does the supermarket keep only this specific brand of chips? What about the other brands? There's a good chance you won't even think about this. After all, it's just a packet of chips, and you like this brand. So when you want to have chips, you just buy what is available. But here is what you don't know. The maker of these chips struck a deal with a supermarket. They asked the supermarket owner to only sell their brand of chips and to keep the competition away. So they bought all the shelves for chips in the supermarket. In exchange, the supermarket owner gets a slice of the profits. That's how they rig the market. Now imagine if a new chips brand wants to enter this market. It's a startup that makes healthy chips. They taste the same or even better. And they come without preservatives maybe. But you won't be able to get your hands on this brand, this new brand, because your nearest supermarket won't keep them. After all, they're making money from that secret deal they struck. And this startup, this new company, doesn't have the money to outbid the big company. Such practices are more common than you would imagine. And that is why we need antitrust laws to make sure that everyone gets a fair chance to compete in an open market. More importantly, you, the customer, gets more choices.
Oh my God.
So Google, through its deals with Apple and Mozilla, tried to do something similar. It tried to make Google search the default search engine. And it used its money to block any potential challengers. Basically, Google wanted to rig the market in their favor. And now it faces the prospect of being dismantled into smaller entities. That would be the harshest punishment. Of course, Google can challenge all of this in higher courts, and the US government may end up resorting to a less severe punishment. They could force Google to share more data with competitors. They could enforce measures to slow down Google. They could also make it easier for other companies to compete. Basically, the government will try to level the playing field. And this is very important. The world will be watching how this case unfolds. Also, other tech giants like Apple, they will be watching this. Apple is already facing a lawsuit over iPhones. This is about how the Apple ecosystem works. They don't allow rival apps or software to run on Apple devices.
And as outlined in our complaint, we allege that Apple has consolidated its monopoly power, not by making its own products better, but by making other products worse.
A guilty verdict against Google may have a bearing on the case against Apple too. And these cases could have a domino effect on the tech industry at large, especially the big players like Meta, the parent company of Facebook, and Microsoft and Amazon. Global regulators are challenging them. They want these companies to be broken up because they're too powerful. The case against Google could set the precedent they need to move forward.
Wow, that's a very interesting one, listening to Shama giving us and her breakdown of what she thinks concerning this antitrust law that decide to sue this tech company Google of its monopoly. Of course, we have looked at its word, and then she used the chip to make her explanation when it comes to having a substitute services. That's when she make use of the chip to make her explanation. But then I want us to look at this on a different angle, and I want to make use of the US dollar, for instance, to do my explanation. If you look at it, the World Reserve make use of US dollar for its reserve, and then this is being used almost 70% of country all over the world make use of the US dollar for its reserve through their central bank, and this is being used to check the growth and also the inflation of most economy. Now, should we say that because of the US decide to monopolize the dollars, therefore make most of these countries to make use of of it, you understand, for its exchange, then we kind of go to court and says that no, we want to break down the US, you understand, economy so that people don't have to be using it, you understand, for its reserve. Does it kind of make sense? So that's why, you understand, to me, I feel that maybe probably the US, you understand, government may be wrong by making, you understand, this very move by trying to break down this tech company Google. Because if you look at it, the time that BRICS, you understand, was formed, when I talk about, you understand, the Russia, Iran, Brazil, South Africa, and China, and the rest of it, right? When they formed BRICS, are therefore being a substitute, you understand, currency for them to use, you understand, in exchange, you understand, of their goods. Of course, some of these countries, you understand, end up, you understand, facing, you understand, sanctions. You understand why? Because of they decide to create, you understand, a substitute commodity. So all I can say is, I believe that Google did not, in a sense, force Apple or force YouTube or force Android, in a sense, to use their apps, but therefore they try to make a promotion. So let's assume that I sell water, for instance, and then I have, you understand, a competitor, and then my competitor decide to make use of influencers, do a lot of promotions online, and then therefore is making a lot of sales and making a lot of money. And me, in the other way around, I decide to produce my own water, and then that's it. And then at some point, since I see my competitor, they are doing very well, then I will say that why is these people, in a sense, progressing? Then decide, in a sense, to sue them, in a sense, for progressing. Like, it does not kind of make sense, in a sense, to me. So to me, I feel that there are different ways in which that the government can try to regulate this. But then in trying to do this, I do not know, will this only take effect only in the United States? Because I do not know if Russia, for instance, in a sense, are actually making use of this same Google, or same is also applicable to North Korea. So will this be applicable only to in the US government, or it's all over the world that this will take effect on? I believe that this is debatable, and I know that a lot of you will have thought and opinion, in a sense, to say concerning this move. But then therefore we'll wait, in a sense, and see how things keep unfolding while this progresses. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, you should like, share, and subscribe. If you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Goodbye.